not yet. Almost there.
I can see it on YouTube. It's live.
Take it away.
Nice. Really, I don't see it.
Trust me, you're live. Take it away.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining and for the work you've done over the last 16 weeks. And before that, let's be honest, this has been a much longer process for you, and it will continue, hopefully, being a learning process and community process. So for everyone watching live, this group of researchers have been working on their own open projects for the last 16 weeks. And we'll hear from 6 teams. What else do I have to say about the code of conduct, right? Yes. So we have a code of conduct, and you know it well, all of you here in the call. And I guess, do we have the comments open in YouTube? Like, yeah, so please also follow like the rules of being nice and being polite and being, you can be critical, but you can also do it in a nice manner. And the code of conduct is on our website, openlifescience.org. And what else? I didn't practice this. I think that would be it, no? And let me see the pad. I should be following the pad. So, okay. So we're gonna start with the presentations. We don't have much time. And the presentations, each of one is around 5 minutes. And if you have further questions, you have any questions as someone on YouTube, you can post it on the comments on YouTube. And if not, you can post it in the pad if you're part of the call. And we can select the questions and ask each team. And then if there's not enough time, which I probably won't be, we can solve that later on Slack, or we'll see. Okay, we need to go. Okay, the first one. So the amazing host right now, this graduation will be Ismael, and he'll do it better than me. So I'm already sweating. And then, okay, so the first one is going to be Harini, right? Or Ismael, take it. Yeah, it's Harini, and the amazing last name, which I'm not going to pronounce, but and yeah, you go, Ismael.
Go for it, Harini. It's over to you. 5 minutes.
Okay. Yes. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen then. Please do let me know if you can see it.
Perfect.
All right, super. Hi, everybody. I'm Harini. I am a PhD student at the University of Zurich. I'm based in Zurich, and I'm also outside my PhD, the operations director at Open Innovation in Life Sciences, which is a open science early career researcher focused association based in Zurich. I'm really glad to be presenting my project, which I brought to OLS6, which is oopsiehack. I was on this journey, let's call it, with my mentor, who's Yo. I see you. Hi, thank you. So let me get on with what oopsiehack is and where we are right now. So I'd first like to present to you, if my screen, there we go, present to you where oopsiehack is currently. So we with oopsiehack would like to develop health digital solutions. This year we're focusing on digital health solutions with open science and also for open science, and I will get to that in a bit. So right now oopsiehack is designed to be a 24-hour on-site hackathon where we would have participants working together, but also with the support of a mentor who would be an open science leader or a topic expert. And over the 24 hours, they will develop solutions for challenges that are listed in the hackathon. At the end of this 24 hours, hopefully they have a solution that then they present in front of a jury a week later. And the most innovative solution, of course, will stand to win a prize and glory. So we hope to have oopsiehack come out in the summer this year, and we're really working towards that. Of course, most anything that we start doing comes from a certain place of wanting to solve a problem, I'm calling it, but not really a problem, right? So oopsiehack originated, the genesis of it really came from the fact that we know a lot of VCRs want to practice open science, a lot of VCRs want to kind of be a part of the open science community, but sometimes they don't know really where to start. From OILS, Open Innovation in Life Sciences, the association I was mentioning, we have a conference every year where we introduce open science to them, but we don't really have so much of a chance that we give them to practice open science. Another thing we wanted to address with oopsiehack, and a bit more of something that's closer to my heart, is a lot of times the challenge comes in practicing and the implementation of open science in our institutes and departments. And we would also like to provide solutions through oopsiehack for the implementation of open science. So this is really where oopsiehack comes in, where we would like to provide an opportunity for people to develop solutions to life science challenges using open science, but also develop solutions for the implementation of open science itself at their host institute. It could also be at the working research group level. It need not be at like such a systemic level. But importantly, we want to provide a chance for people to practice open science and join a community like I did with OLS, and I can see the benefits I stand to being a part of such a community. When you have an idea, you have a plan, and you want the plan to go as you plan. But of course, it never goes according to plan. So you have several iterations. And through this, we realized that design and planning is really an iterative process. You go back and forth. A quick example of this from the process for us was really the structure of the hackathon itself. It started out as a 1-month challenge is what we started thinking of it, where we wanted to give a month for people who are maybe in their PhDs to work on this after hours, and giving them a month would give them enough after hours to work on. We quickly realized we might not have the capacity for this as organizers ourselves, because we also need to put in that kind of hours. So we brought it down to a week. And then we realized having someone come in for 5 days, 8 hours a day might also still not be feasible. So we brought it down to 24 hours. This on the slide seems like 3 lines, but it was a lot of thinking and consideration from our end also to see if we could actually pull this off. The next thing when you want to plan an event is to also realize what resources you need. Of course, for us, it was the prize. We needed a venue for people to work together. And if you have someone sit with you for 24 hours, you need to give them food for thought, but also actual food for sustenance. So we have to consider a bunch of stuff, right? We are trying to provide an open science hackathon, so we want to make sure we provide them with the data management tools and data management plans. And if we want to build a community, you want to have communication channels also available for them. So I guess at the end of this whole iterative process, what we realized was identifying our capacity, what resources we require, what resources are already available is extremely key to designing an executable program. And this took us some time. We started out quite ambitious, which is not wrong, but it's also important to be a bit realistic about our ambitions. The most important thing, of course, when you want to plan an event is to have funding for the event. And I think most people can understand why there's a bit of a friction there. We started out having a single large prize sponsor, by which I mean there was one organization who was willing to sponsor our title prize. The good thing about this is that it's one and done, meaning you have time to focus on other aspects of project development. The con, or rather something that might be a bit more tricky, would be that this would mean that you would have to be extremely in line with the ideas and values of the sponsor, but also that sometimes this would determine and dictate our timeline and our theme, which is what kind of happened for us. So then we moved on to another model.
Athene, your time just passed, so please wrap it up.
Yes, of course. So we moved on to another model where now we will get funding and sponsors from partners and through grants. The key important part about oopsiehack is that we want it to be about a community. So we have participants from our ECR community, but also across Europe. And we will also be leaning on mentors from open science communities we know of, and we're glad to know. Finally, oopsiehack would not be possible to organize, especially in its current form, without the support of lovely people. Yo, my mentor, but also OLS community in itself, OILS, where I started off from. And I have to especially thank Anelda, because she was really helpful in identifying ways to build a community or where we can improve on this. I have one last thing I want to say before I quickly wrap up, and that I would love for you to be a part of oopsiehack as well. We're really looking for mentors who can come in as open science leaders and experts to help our participants. So if you think you would like to participate and support oopsiehack, please sign up through this QR code. I will leave this slide on a bit longer, but I'm also available on Slack for you to reach out to me, and I'd be really happy to take forward the conversation.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'll ask everyone to give a round of applause now, and then we will in a few seconds once this is off the screen. But follow the link. Get your phones out. Follow that QR code. Hadini, hopefully you've already put the link in the.
Yes, I have. So I'll stop sharing now.
There you go. Plenty ways to follow the link. So really beautifully presented is one comment that's come through the Etherpad. It seems like a lot of planning and designing have gone into the project. Looking forward to learning more about it. And it also sounds, Hadini, that you went through a process of figuring things out like the hard way. Like you did encounter some obstacles. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, it was with the design itself, but also kind of identifying how we want to take it in terms of sponsors and if we align with people and how to build a partnership with sponsors, basically. So yeah, it was an interesting learning, I must say.
Learning process. Congratulations, well done. You are now graduated. One final round.
Thank you.
From everyone in the room. We're all here, even if our videos are off. We're all clapping.
Thanks.
Congrats, and we'll go to the next presentation. This one by Ran and Moritz.
Yes, I'll start sharing my screen. Okay. Okay, are you able to see it?
Brilliant. Yes,
Okay,
go for it.
great. Thank you. So hello, everyone. Very happy to be here today to share with you our journey with OLS. We're Ran and Moritz, both of us are PhD students in bio-nanoscience at TU Delft in the Netherlands. So our project is called a Platform for Open and Reproducible Super-Resolution Imaging, or as we call it, Open Blink. It's an idea we had since the beginning of our PhD, more or less 1 year ago, when we started our research in the field of bioimaging, using super resolution techniques to investigate biological questions, and thought such a platform on basis of open science would benefit many young researchers and students like us. So first of all, just briefly on what is super resolution imaging and what is important. So it's essentially just taking photos with optical microscopes, but with high resolution in the range of nanometers that no more microscopy cannot achieve. So it can help biologists to discover new information within cells, for example, giving insights to subcellular structures or dynamics. So it has been a blooming field, especially after the Nobel Prize in 2014 in chemistry was awarded to people contributing to this technique. And many biologists nowadays are sticking to use super resolution imaging for some breakthrough for their research. But the fact that it's such an interdisciplinary fields involving the knowledge of optics, biology, chemistry, image analysis, and so on, and often requiring collaborations between multiple research groups, makes it difficult for researchers or students to even get started. Take our group or myself, for example, we're a newly funded laboratory and wanted to implement a super resolution setup. I got intimidated in the beginning already by the numerous acronyms for the different types of super resolution techniques out there, and didn't know what's the difference and how to adopt them. Then the high expenses of the commercial setups made us to turn to look at already existed but not super lively open microscope hardware community, where I learned a lot to build my super resolution setup, but also often struggle to find the information or details I need. And also, finally, even though there are already some work done to make bioimaging data more failed, the super resolution experiments still have low reproducibility because of the lack of documentation for the complex workflows in the wet lab, for example. Then with the guidelines of OLS, we wanted to build such a platform to address those barriers I just mentioned for anyone who want to use super resolution techniques for their research. The platform could be a place where we share documents of our practices of super resolution techniques, from hardwares to imaging analysis tools, and also image dataset based on the principles of open science and failed data. Also, we want the platform to also be a place to hold educational resources to close the scale gap between biologists and microscopists. And finally, we want to bring together the different roles in the fields, the biologists, the students, educators on this platform to share their practices and experiences. So overall, we have quite a bit ambitious goal, and Maurice will continue to tell you what we have actually done.
Thanks, Juan. So in the beginning,
Sorry, just a second. Couldn't find it.
In the beginning, we were a bit unsure where the project should actually go. So the conceptualization, what would actually be our target audience? Would it be more expert researchers, or can you mute yourself on? Thanks. So all the skill up calls actually contribute quite a lot to how do we choose a license, which audience should we choose, where can we host a website, how do we actually work open in an actual project. This was all stuff we picked up during OLS, and then started to design our website. We learned how to code in HTML, JavaScript, work more actively in GitHub. This is all stuff we will use quite often also in our future. And then the main question we tried to solve was basically how to get the community integrated into our website. So it should not be a one-way information stream, but really how do we get all the people contribute to our website? Ismail, I'm at 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was 5 minutes. So if you can.
Okay, great. I'll wrap it up. So currently we are just pumping out our content, but of course we want to have people using the website to actually see what we have done and what the community has already done, but also want the community to come back and really contribute. And yeah, I think, can you put the next slide? If you want to contribute, okay, that was a bit too quick, but yeah, you see here our website. You can just basically go to the link I will show then in the next slide as well. Stroll a bit through, have a look at the information that's there. If you're interested or have questions, just drop us a comment. There's a comment feature on every page. And if you have actual hardware that you want to share or software, just open a pull request. It will also be linked on the website, and then let's further the knowledge, I guess, in the community. This could be us, exactly. Okay, let's go to the next slide to thank the people that were helping us. So, of course, all of you, this was quite encouraging, quite motivating also to work in an open community. Of course, our mentor, Sarah, I hope she's still there. Thank you for all the motivation and the support. This was really quite a journey, but really helpful and really satisfying. We had some scientific inspirations also that are listed here. And if you want to get involved, drop us a DM or look at our website. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Another virtual round of applause and congratulations to the both of you for a great project, for making it through OLS. If you can stop staring the screen, if you can stop sharing your screen now. There you go. Here we all are. Yeah, congrats. Well done. Now, in the interest of time, and I feel a bit cruel for doing this, are there any really urgent questions that we have? If not, I kind of want to move on. Let's move on.
Throw questions into the Etherpad, folks, if you have any, and they can answer whilst the next presentation starts.
Thank you, yeah. The next presentation is Laura and team. Are you able to share your screen?
Yes, doing that right away.
Brilliant. Super. It's showing. Oh. There you go.
You're able to see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to present a project that we've been working on for the past 4 months, titled The Hub Portal and Academy, and the mentees are as listed on the slide: myself, Gladys, Ken, and Pauline, and we were mentored by the fantastic Stefan Fadanka. So as an introduction, so with this project, we wanted to create a portal where undergrad students, especially in life sciences, and aspiring scientists who are still in their high school could find resources to help them, to guide them in choosing science careers. And for undergrad students, they would use this resource to guide them in finding their attachments, internships, and possible employment opportunities or masters and higher learning degrees that they could pursue. So what we have really worked on during these 4 months is creating the portal where we assemble learning materials, ongoing workshops in different continents, schools and whatnot, meetings that would be of use for probably high school or undergrad students, hackathons that we can participate in, and online lectures that are available online that they could use. So with this portal, we wanted to create a one-stop hub for scientists in Kenya, or rather students who are pursuing life sciences in Kenya could find any kind of material that would be of use to their curriculum, upskilling efforts, and higher learning endeavors. So we were motivated by the problem that there are very few or rather there's a shortfall of scientists around the globe, and that is much worse in Kenya. Most people who've pursued life sciences or any other kind of science especially end up dropping out of the science field and pursuing entrepreneurship or other informal jobs because of lack of guidance, mentorship, as well as resources to help them upskill so that they're competitive in the job market. So the 4 of us came together and thought we could create this. We have already been able to achieve the portal side and are still working on adding additional resources. So the problem at a glance is that there is a huge gap between students' scholastic achievement and employability. And this hub was created to help guide post-secondary students and upskilling endeavors of graduate students. So specifically, we wanted to narrow the gap that exists between the needs of the industry and undergraduate students. And specifically, we wanted to disseminate research knowledge and other upskilling resources for students. We also wanted to help sensitize students towards open science and also provide resources for mentorship and training programs. Oh, sorry. With the portal, we have structured it into 2 parts. We have a section for post-secondary students, where we've been able to populate it with course information and such like stuff. And we have also, we are also continuing to populate information that can help them to choose life science careers and why they're beneficial, people who are in similar fields and how this might help in their careers. And the same goes for undergrad students, as I had explained earlier. So far, we've been able to create a website. We're yet to settle on a logo, hence the emoji up there, but we've been able to create a holistic hub for these resources that I've been talking about, which you can find on line 61, the link to and explore. So we've also categorized the resources into post-high school, undergrad, and early career scientists, and we've used data mining from different sources such as LinkedIn, Twitter, websites, and we might think this information into these 3 categories that might be useful to whichever person is visiting the hub. We were able to collaborate on this project as follows. We had our internal Tuesday meetings sometimes without our mentor, and just by ourselves. We would meet and discuss on what to do. We also followed very closely with the all 6 weekly meetings and focus hours, worked through Word documents, and also distributed tasks amongst ourselves that helped us to achieve what we've been able to achieve so far, although there's still much to be done. So looking ahead, we're hoping to recruit more people to help with the designing of the hub and also disseminating it to different schools, also testing it using pilot universities and high schools to help out in seeing if this is actually a resource that teachers and universities alike would be interested in. And of course, we encourage anyone who has anything to contribute via our GitHub and also sending us comments via our website. I've left
over 5 minutes, so please wrap up.
Okay, we've left the link on the Etherpad. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And again, huge congratulations for the past 16 and more weeks because of the holiday period. If you stop sharing your screen, I need to learn how to say those words without tripping over. There you go. Huge round of applause from everyone. Congrats to yourself and to the team. Well done. I can't see that any questions have come through. Are there any on YouTube? I can't see any. You can, like before, you can use the Etherpad to write down those questions and thoughts as they come to mind. For now, we'll move on to the presentation. Oh, sorry, did I miss her? Just a kind comment. Thanks for sharing how you worked as a team to collaborate. It's always interesting to see tips and tricks for working together. That's excellent. Now we'll move on to the presentation by Rashda. You able to share your screen?
Yes, just give me a second.
And Laura, you are getting plenty of questions coming through the Etherpad, so please take a look in your own time. For now, Rashda, your screen is shared perfectly. So over to you.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I am very happy to present my project, Cardiome database, which is a multi-omics database for cardiovascular diseases. So coming to why cardiovascular diseases. Cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of death globally, and they kill more people than all cancers combined. And while there have been multiple impressive efforts in the cardiovascular therapeutic and diagnostic research space, there's a lot that we can still accomplish. So my database basically deals with omics data, and what omics basically is, it is the study of the genome, the proteome, the metabolome, the transcriptome. The advancement in these omics technologies has given us a clearer insight into diseases and the processes and the dynamic interactions that take place at a molecular level, which help researchers in identifying therapeutic targets and biomarkers. What biomarkers essentially are, they are either a biochemical entity or a biological molecule found in your blood or any fluid, tissue, etc., that can signify the presence or the progress of a disease, and also help in measuring the effects of a disease. So while cardiovascular research has been progressing and remarkable endeavors have been carried out in the omics research, the answers to multiple questions that arise during cardiovascular research cannot be answered by a single form of omics. For example, if you study omics, you realize that genomics is very static. It gives you the DNA blueprint, whereas the other omes like the proteome, the metabolome, and the transcriptome, they are dynamic and they're subject to change under different conditions. For example, in a diseased conditions. Hence, it's really important to look at any disease from a multi-omics approach, since it gives you like a holistic view of the disease. So this inspired me to build a one-stop solution platform for multi-omics data when it comes to cardiovascular diseases. This idea originated back when I was doing the summer research program. I was placed in the cardiovascular research track. And what I noticed that there was a lack of publicly available omics data for cardiovascular research. And most of this data, the source of this data, was in peer-reviewed publications, and there was scattered data in public repositories. So the goal of this tool is to help researchers in experimental design and hypothesis generation, which would further enable them to identify biomarkers, help in drug discovery, and also act as like this data repository of even the studies that have been carried out for various cardiovascular diseases. So this is what the biological interest of the tool adds to identify any sort of differentially expressed genes, proteins, metabolites. It will have information about the pathways and drugs that could be potentially explored. And the repositories listed below here are the repositories that would be employed in this tool. So just for the interest of time, I can take you over one feature of this tool. This is just a UI design. I'm still at a stage where I'm building my first prototype. So if a user would select the coronary artery disease as their disease of choice, and they want to look at the genomics part of it, the idea is that they can look at the genes associated with coronary artery disease, check the trend, explore any sort of studies that have been done in coronary artery disease genomics. Talking about my OLS journey, it has been amazing so far, and a very important learning for me was that so I came to this program with an idea, and with the help of my mentor, who's been very patient and kind, we did a lot of project scoping, which helped me transform this idea into a more structured project. And a major accomplishment for me was I managed to acquire data for 3 major cardiovascular diseases. And I've also realized that building a database of this nature is not something that can be done by one person and requires much more time than I originally thought it would. I have also created UI designs for the website. Talking about the way ahead.
I think you're wrapping it up, but that's 5 minutes.
Yes. So the way ahead, I want to get done with my functional prototype website and acquire data for more cardiovascular diseases, and also expand the features of this database. Yes, thank you for your time. That's it with my presentation.
Brilliant. Well done. Another round of applause and a huge congratulations again for all the hard work during this time and for graduating. Congrats. There is a question that came through the Etherpad, so here it goes. Given that COVID-19 is a cardiovascular disease, do you have any insights in CardioMDB, or is it mostly pre-2020 data?
It is mostly pre-2020 data, and I haven't incorporated any studies post 2020. But maybe once this grows, I would definitely consider incorporating that as well.
Sounds like one way to get grant money if you just stick COVID in it. All right, again, just one final round of applause and congrats. And we'll go to the next presentation by Lucia.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I think
share your screen.
I will try. I figured Etherpad actually kills my Zoom, so I'm not gonna look at Etherpad during the presentation, and I hope it will work.
That's fine.
Can you see my slides?
Perfect.
Okay, great. Excellent. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you to my mentor, Julian Kim, for her time and her guidance. And I will move on since we only have 5 minutes. So why should we look at awards? And everybody knows Nobel Prize, and there are also lots of other prestigious prizes which come with lots of money and lots of public attention and lots of scientific attention. But we also know for many serious diversity problem in those awards, and they tend to be given to a certain group of people, and usually white males, so men from Western rich countries. And people said, why don't you give more senior awards, late career awards to women and other underrepresented groups? And the answer usually is, oh, we don't have enough nominees that are of the right caliber. So we decided to look what happens before late career awards, how mid-career awards and early career awards can actually contribute to the lack of diversity at the late career stage. And this is called the Matthew effect when rich get richer. If you start with privilege, you have access to lots of money, infrastructure, good mentoring, and other resources, you are more likely to do big projects. They get attention, and those projects will get awards, and you get awards, you get access to even more resources, and your career accelerates, and you can get to late career stage when you have chance to be nominated for a big prize. Otherwise, you are likely to drop out of the pipeline. So it's not about carrots, it's about awards, as you probably noticed. And open science comes into this in a way that actually we think research prizes are an opportunity to reinforce and incentivize open science, because awards should be given for work that is transparent and reproducible, not just striking or on topics that are currently fashionable. So this project actually is based on a project we just finished with a small team of friends and volunteers, which was focused just on ecology and evolution, where we evaluated 11 best paper awards and 13 best researcher awards that are international and have broad scope, so they are not specialized to small subdisciplines. And we assessed whether awards foster equitable access and assessment, so that was based on the award description. And we actually found that not many of them do that. And if they do it, they usually provide extension of a timeline when you can be nominated or apply. So they allow for career breaks, and that's the main thing really, which is good, but they could be doing more. But we only found one award that valued open science explicitly. None of the other awards even mentioned anything related to sharing code or data, which could be the simplest and most expected ways of promoting and valuing open science. And we looked at the list of past award winners. We assigned gender based on the first name, and we noticed that in the past, like 30, 40 years ago, even 20 years ago, there were lots of male-biased winners, so names. But in the last 10 years, the situation seems to be improving in terms of gender, and the ratio of female-male winners is quite often very similar. So for this project, we decided to go bigger and look across all disciplines, so beyond ecology and evolution, which is my background, And we needed a team and helpers who have backgrounds in other disciplines. And I decided just to look at best paper awards because those seems to be universal thing. And we look across all subject areas. We look at top ranked journals and we collect very similar type of information about those awards. So those awards, best paper awards, are usually given for a single journal article. And this is an example on the right side. And we think from our experience, those awards usually go to students and other early career researchers. So this is a collaborative and open project. So everybody can join and contribute as much as they can. I organized one hackathon during a meta science conference, and person, and we talk about what we are expecting to do and gathered feedback on our proposal and protocol. And since then, we are working asynchronously on the internet using email, Slack, and other resources. So during the OLS program, I create expression of interest form, project description, contributorship guide, code of conduct, and other documents that we are currently using for screening and data extraction. We also have Slack channel.
5 minutes, please wrap it up.
Okay, so far we have 19 people from 6 continents with different backgrounds and ranging from early career researchers to senior researchers. And at the moment, 12 people are screening awards and creating shortlists for data extractions. And the timeline is that we are at the moment at screening stage, and in the next few months, we will finish shortlisting awards and extract information, summarize, and hopefully publish an article in a nice journal. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy and you are interested in this project.
Brilliant. Congratulations. And again, round of applause. Well done for all that great work. I love that you shared the number of contributors. That's always, I think, helpful for the OLS community as well to see how you can actually jump in and help.
Thank you.
I'm sure there will be more questions. There's already one being written on the Etherpad about diversity. Time is very tight, so we are going to jump to Sophia, but thank you so much, Lucia. One final round of applause, please, everybody. And Idini and Sophia, over to you.
Just me, no Irini. So thank you. Super excited to present this to you today. So we are the Open Communities or Open Community Buildings project. The vision was really to try and foster a community of AIM researchers, all the staff that support that research, as well as involve members of the public, to kind of actively engage them and support the collaborative, ethical, transparent, and reproducible and inclusive ways of working. But I've just thrown an acronym at you. What is it? What is AIM? So AIM is a project that was funded by the NIHR here in the UK to really support the combination of using data science and AI techniques and to combine that with healthcare and social science expertise so that we could investigate and research, identify new clusters of disease as they run together and understand how conditions develop over a life course with a specific focus on looking at more than one or multiple long-term conditions that occur across a lifetime. We have a lot of partners as part of this project. There are 7 research consortia, so 7 different research groups that are made up of a bunch of different people. Therefore, we developed a plan for a research support facility, which is what I'm a part of and which is where our plans for open community building really set into effect. And in total, we have 228 researchers and clinicians, not just in research staff, working on this initiative. There are a lot of people in the community as a result of this. You have AIM RSF, so the Research Support Facility kind of staff, such as myself and Irini. You have people in the consortia themselves, as well as the organizations of the research consortia. You've got public and patient groups, as well as charities and people who work in the third sector. We're also working with trusts, so groups that are set up in the National Health Service to work on specific projects and partnerships. Then there are the people themselves with multiple long-term conditions that are embedded in the research, and external groups that are outside of AIM that are interested in the work and want to be involved. So all of this is to say the community is huge and sprawling, and everyone comes from a different background. So we are faced with a lot of challenges when trying to kind of support this community as it moves towards collaborative ways of working. If you've been involved in academia at all, you'll know that there are often research silos where groups won't talk to one another and everyone tries to huddle away. And a lot of that is often because of these competing interests in academia. So there's a competition over getting the best publication, the best prize. There's a competition over being the first person to discover something. As I also touched upon, there are lots of people with lots of different backgrounds, and that has caused huge knowledge blockers, as someone from a medical background may not have the depth of knowledge that someone who studied AI for the past 10 years has. And so there was no basis of a shared understanding between all of the people working on this project. And again, this idea of a research support facility, of community-led research, of embedding patients and members of the public in the research, and thinking of them as researchers themselves, and is a very new kind of approach. And so we're faced with a kind of a lack of buy-in from senior academics who, you know, just wanted to be left alone in their ivory towers to do research by themselves. So the plan was to try and build a community across all of these different groups despite these challenges. So how did we do it? We thought about kind of these core community foundations to build. The first was going to be focused on upskilling researchers so that their work can be done to a really high standard and it can be reproduced, and that they're aware of best practices in terms of public engagement. We then wanted to ensure that, workshops is great, sending people leaflets is great, but that knowledge needs to be persistent and accessible to everyone throughout the project and curated in a central hub. And then the final foundation was the sense of community unity, as we called it. So we wanted to foster the sense of that we're all in this together, we're trying to answer these big questions together. So how do we create community champions from the get-go? So what we managed to do is that we focused really hard on workshops, which is where my project partner Irene came on. So we taught people about GitHub, GitLab, trustworthy research environments. We taught them R, we taught them looking at how to use different R packages for data visualization and packaging it all within a reproducible computational environment. This is a little screenshot from our contributions graph for the GitHub repository as a result of the introduction to GitHub workshops. It's a tool that not many researchers know from day one, and so it was super cool to kind of see the contributions increase throughout our time as the community was building. We also decided, to do some accessible knowledge, so we set up a GitHub organization and curated it. We hosted a web page. And we focused on a glossary of terms to make accessible knowledge. We hosted a bunch of events, launched a Slack space, which has 94 members, and 416 messages were sent in December, which was fab. So again, there were lots of challenges, but we're now at a stage where there's collaboration between the project, shared resources, and integration of best practices. So massive thank you to everyone who supported us on this project and to our RSF partners. And thank you to all of you for listening and being part of this journey.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. There you go. That final clap, you made it. Congrats. Well done. Again, to everyone, there is an Etherpad for you to share questions. I'm sure Sophia is happy to also connect with anyone here. Let's move on. Okay, we'll have one final presentation. We will overrun just a bit today. Noma, are you good to share your screen? Sorry, one final round of applause for Sophia. Well done. That was a lot of information in 5 minutes, and I know you could have gone over time, but kept it there. Noma, are you able to share your screen now?
Yes, can you see my screen?
Yes, you have it, so we can see the whole thing, right? And
Okay.
now we are brilliant. Take it away.
Hello. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm here to present the project that I did in my OLS 6 journey, and that was the RSE landscape in Africa. I am Noma, and I worked on this project with Anelda, and our mentors were Joyce and Anne Lee. So for this project, we had two main objectives. One main objective, and the second one came as a byproduct of what we are trying to do or achieve in Africa in terms of RSE. So just for those who might not know in the room, RSE stands for Research Software Engineers, and these are people who do research, but as part of their outputs, or even not part of their outputs, but to get to the point where they want to get in their research, they need to develop code or some software to help them to get to the end of their research. So the main objective was mapping the RSE landscape in Africa. So basically this work is building on work that was started by the Research Software Alliance, RISA. They started a mapping project in 2019, and in 2020, only the global north was mapped. And then, so they started mapping in 2019, and they released the results in 2020, and then they started mapping the global south through contractors. And it was surprising to us to see that in Africa, they only mapped 39 RSE communities, which is not a true representation of what is happening in Africa. And that is why it was important for us to start the mapping, or to expand on the map. So through inviting community members to add their data and our knowledge of RSE communities and networks and internet searches, we were able to move from 39 communities in Africa to 166 communities. And I'm just going to share the map that we have created. So we created a Shiny app. Let's reload and see. We created a Shiny app, which is reloading and should be showing in a second. Yeah, but so we basically took the data that we got and we put it on a Shiny app. We put it on a Shiny app, which was developed by me and Anelda. And as you can see the African continent with our data points. And if you zoom in, you're able to hover over the data points and see where exactly those data points are. And there's a table that also accompanies the data. And we have also made it automated it to be able to search in different categories. So for example, if I want an advisory body, then I can just remove that. And if I go to the map, it'll show me just that one point. So that is the Shiny map that was actually the biggest output of this project. But like I said, as a byproduct or as we're doing the project, one of the things that we felt we should also do is to grow a community of practice. Now, RSCC Africa was birthed in the 4th OLS cohort, and it was founded by Peter Van Heesten and Eugene de Bester. And then it really struggled because of COVID. And earlier this year, Telarify was involved in reignition of the RSE Africa RSSE community. So basically in this community, we raise awareness of RSE, we share knowledge and resources, we share our work and collaborate, we showcase African expertise, and we help connect African RSEs to the global community. So to grow this active community of practice, what we're going to be doing in 2023 is to continue with the online forum that is there, and then host a Slack channel within the International RSE Slack workspace. And then we're going to be having monthly meetings, which we started with already last year in May. So these, again, the meetups will be to showcase RSE work done in Africa, and also to have some discussions and see what training opportunities we can find, and most of all, or most importantly, collaborating. And then a new feature that we have is a newsletter. We'll be sending out a newsletter every month where we're going to be featuring the speakers and other relevant information that we feel the community should know about. a very big thank you to OLS for this opportunity, and my colleague Anelda van der Walt for her guidance, our mentors Joyce and Anne-Lee. I personally have learned a lot through this journey. I learned not only soft skills, but tech skills as well. I've learned to work on GitHub, and I actually started learning R late last year. And so it was very nice to build a Shiny app at the end of the year. And yeah, that is all from me. So thank you so much to everyone who contributed, those who reshared our posts, those who added their data, and the awesome OLS crew. I do have some resources linked as well in my slides, and I've shared them on the Etherpad. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, congratulations to you too. A final round of applause. Well done. Congrats. We did it. We did all the presentations. There are no more presentations in the world. One final round of applause for Noma, and I'll hand over to Yo.
Let's do this super fast. Folks, you have just graduated OLS. You have done some beautiful stuff over the last 4 months. It's always exciting seeing the things that you learned, the things that went well, the things that didn't go like you expected. I'm not going to waffle anymore because we're all 5 minutes late for our next meeting. So folks, if you don't mind, I'm going to stop the stream. We'd like to do a group photo, and then we can all set each other free. So stop. Oh no, I can't stop the stream. Paz, can you do it?